Hi everyone, welcome to Tints and Tints. Today we are going to draw a white daisy and I hope you will enjoy it. And for this white daisy, I'll be giving you the color swatches. Also be giving you the floral outline. If you don't want to draw the outline with me, you can skip to the painting portion and start painting along with me. I'm using my watercolor brushes here. You can download it from the description. It's at a minimal cost. You can buy it for one time and you'll get access to all my past tutorials. Every week I post a new tutorial with my own brush. You can use the tutorial and enjoy every weekend along with me. And before starting the tutorial, let me introduce myself. My name is Harshini. I am an illustrator. I also have a brand called tintsandtoons.com where I do sell my stationeries where I print my own illustrations on it. Do check out my website. Let's get into the video. As soon as you open your Procreate is just a one-time subscription. And as soon as you open your Procreate, you'll see your past projects. After that, just click on this plus icon and again click on this plus icon to create your custom sizes. You will have the existing sizes over here. Click on this and create on. You can mention the height and width over here. So I'm just using 4000 into 4000 pixel and 300 dpi. If you want more layers, you can reduce the pixels. I'm keeping at high quality here and just create. Once you created, you'll have a canvas. And let me explain the basic options over here. Here you'll adjust the size of the brush, opacity of the brush, and for selecting the brush, you'll have a brush over here and a smudge tool over here and a eraser here and layers here, colors here. You can go to disk and select whichever color you want. In the brush section, I'm going to use this tints and tones brushes. These are all the brushes which I'll be using. Now I'm going to use this white daisy palette. If you go to click this disk, you will be able to see this white daisy palette. This is available for download for free in my description. You can download it from there. And let's get into the painting tutorial. First, let's begin the sketching portion. Now select the brush section and move into the ink pen. And then go to the color and select the first color. In the layer section, I'm in layer 1. Now, anytime you're beginning any image or any illustration, just see what is the basic shape. Now, I'm just drawing a big oval to denote the entire size of the flower. And then a small round in the center. So this will be the structure of the flower and you'll have the stem over here. Go to the layer, select this blending mode and reduce the opacity at 20% so that you can later delete it. Now create one new layer. In this new layer, select the Triliner brush. Then select the fourth color. I'm using a red color. We'll later delete it, remove it. You can use any color you want. And I'm using this pen to just draw a oval in the center. And if you can see here, I'm just having some irregularities, may not be perfect. Then go to the color and select again the first color just to differentiate. Now just draw a nice rounded or oval shaped petal. So when you draw your petal, make sure the direction is shifting. When you're drawing at the top, it should be faced top. When you're drawing on the side, it should be faced in the side. First, let's draw the upper portion of the flower. When you're drawing the petals, make sure the tips are slightly thinner. It should start thinner, broader, and then again thinner. and then make sure that these follow the line which we drew. These petals follow the line which we drew before. You can see here the angle of these petals are similar to this line. So that's just a reference purpose. And the top portion is done. Now when you're drawing the lower portion, slightly the height will be lesser, and since the view of the flower is different, just reduce the height. It should not be in the same height. If you see, this height is very small. Can you see? This height is small and this height is big. So make sure it's slightly smaller than the top of petal. The above petal, sorry. Now let's draw some petals which is there in the bottom of the flower. Only a portion of it will be visible since it's in the bottom, here as well. Now let's draw the stem. Going back to the color, selecting the green color. The green color is fifth color, and with the same brush just draw some stem. You can draw it in same color. It doesn't matter because you're not going to use these outlines later on. You will remove it. Now what you can do is remove the layer 1. You can either uncheck it or just swipe it and delete it. Now layer 2 we have the sketch portion. Now click on one more layer. Now after creating the new layer, just rename it. And then go back to layer 2. Select this lasso tool. Let me tell you how to select this entire flower. I'm just selecting it again. It accidentally went away. Just select the floral. It need not be perfect. Just select the floral. It's okay if it's not perfect. Because anyhow we are not going to use this outline. Just for reference purpose. If you're doing any mistake, you can click undo with your 2 finger and your last selection will be disappeared. I'm just creating one more petal here. It's so empty. That's it. Now the center portion is selected. Now let's select the stem as well. I'm creating an add button over here. It's just coloring with this existing color. Now just select the stem as well. And again click add. So these both are selected. Let me select some more. Click add. So all these are selected. Here I believe it's not selected properly. Let me select this portion as well. Okay, now it looks fine. Let me add one more petal over here. Now it looks fine. Go to the selection, Click save and load and click on this plus icon. And go to the color and let's change it to white color, the second color in the second row. Now this layer is colored. Now let me move the outline layer to the top. And by being on this layer too, just create one new layer and click and drag it down. Now let's create some background. Go to the pigmented wash, select the first color, raise the brush size at 40% and just color the background of the flower. Just use different variation. Create a background. And then go back to the color. Select this light wash. Select the second color just to give some variations in the between. Go back to the eraser brush. Select the same light wash and erase. Increase the brush size to 30%. No, 15% and erase it wherever you want. Just erasing it a bit to create some soft effect in the corners. And then go back to the brush, same light wash with the same color. You can just color it in the place where you erased. Not everywhere, but at least in some places. Go back to the smudge brush, select the bloom smudge, increase the brush size to 23% and just smudge if you have any hard edges. Increase the brush size to 43% and just smudge. Let me use this arrow mark and make this a slightly bigger one. That's it. This looks cool. I'm just creating some random backgrounds with these brushes. After that, go to the outline layer, select this N and reduce the opacity at the minimum 15% should be good. Now above this outline layer, create one more layer and then go to the color and select the first color. And then select the fine liner brush and let's color the center portion. Increase the brush size to 25% and let's color the. When you're coloring the center portion, leave a bit of white space in the top and color only the rest of the portion. Go back to the color, select the fourth color and color it in the top. Now if you can see here, you can see some hard edges. Go to the smudge brush, bloom smudge, reduce the brush size to 4% and just smudge these hard edges. Now go back to the brush, select bright wet edge loaded brush, select the second color in the third row and just make the bottom a little bit darker. Go back to the layer, create one new layer and reduce the opacity at 30% And with the same brush, the opacity is very low. Let me increase the opacity to 60%, and I have created a darker layer here. So what I'll do is go to the smudge brush, bloom smudge, and let me again smudge the harder edges. As you can see here, you can see nice smudging of the colors over here. That's it. Nice gradient, nice texture spawned over here. Now go back to the fine liner brush, go to the color, select the first color, reduce the opacity to 50%, and just color the entire center portion just to give some holistic color. That's it. Now go back to the color, select the pigmented wash, and select the third color, and let me check the brush size. Put it at 2%, reduce opacity to 40%, go back to the layer, create one more new layer, and just color the bottom. And when you are moving towards up, reduce the pressure so it smudges. I hope you get it how I'm using these brushes. So it creates some depth. Now let's color the stem before moving on to the petal. Select the fourth color and with the same brush, pigmented wash, reduce the opacity at 15%, and size doesn't matter. So what you can do is, before moving on to the stem, just merge all these three layers and click on one plus sign to create a new layer. Go to the brush, pigmented wash. Now if you are coloring now, it will be spreading outside. What you can do is go to the layer, click on the layer, and then you can put it in clipping mask so that it doesn't spread. Before putting into clipping mask, what you have to do is move this layer above this white layer and put it in clipping mask, and move this layer as well and then put it in clipping mask. It's already automatically gone into clipping mask. So what happens is it doesn't spread out. Like, let me show you now. Go back to layer 5, and if you're coloring this, it will not come out. It will only color in the white space. So what happens is, this is the base layer, which is this layer, and wherever there's white paint, only there you can color if you put the top layers on a clipping mask. Hope you understand. Now let me use a light brush to color this. Only one side I'm coloring. Now go back to the smudge, use the basic smudge, and slightly you can smudge it. Go back to the brush and go to the fine liner brush, go to the color, select the fifth color, and increase the opacity at 100%, reduce the size to 8%, and go to the layer, select one new layer. Sometimes the brush works better if you are coloring in the new layer, and then just make the corners little dark. Now if you can see, it will not color outside, it will only color inside. Going back to the color, selecting the third color just to bring a little bit of variation in the color of the stem. That's it. Now go back to the color, select the first color in the second row, same eyeliner brush, And let's make the increase the brush size to 20%. Go back to the layer. Let me merge all these three layers since after you're satisfied. Create one more layer, put it in the clipping mask. Now let's color the petals. Yeah, I can see it's a white daisy and the color is very dark. Later I'll change it. For now, I'm just using a nice bright blue, but I'll make it dull so that it's more like a white daisy. I'm just painting the bottom flowers, bottom petals, which will be having some shadows. You'll get it as you go on. Trust the process. If I can do it, like anyone can do it. So just coloring in between petals. Now make sure you are in layer 5. Go to this effects portion. Select the hue, saturation and brightness and reduce the brightness to 35%. Now go back to the layer and select the blending mode and reduce the opacity as well to 35%. Now go back to the color layers, switch off this outline layer and see, you can see it's already looking like a proper flower. Now let's create more depth into it. Now select the last color in the second row, reduce the opacity to 30% and create one new layer, put it into clipping mask. It's very light. I'm keeping the opacity at 100% and then existing petals I'm just creating some, reduce the size to 3% and just some veins. 3% is very thin. 13% and creating some veins. So wherever you feel there is a border like the outline, just make sure you are coloring them. Now after creating some differentiation between the petals and having some veins, let me create some more effect. Select this third color and go to the brush and select this wet on dry edge translucent and reduce the brush size to 11 or 10%. Reduce the opacity to 70%. Brush size at 15%. Go to the layer, select one new layer, put it into clipping mask. Now let me check the opacity since the size is very big. Reduce it to 8%. And just create some variation. Like in this petal, I'm just creating some shadows. Reduce the size to 2% and to give some minor details. It's very simple. I thought I'll keep it simple this week. So anyone can draw this flower. Now go to layer, create one new layer and put it into multiply. Then go to the brush, select the paper texture brush and then let me just check. Yes, it's good. Keep the size at 100%, opacity at 100% and just drag it. So what it happens is it creates some watercolor texture to the. So if you can see here, you can see a texture over here. And let me reduce the opacity a bit. Go to the color, reduce the brightness a bit, keeping it at 54%. Go back to the color, select this sixth color and let me give one more layer just to make it a little bit. Yes, now it looks fine. Now go back to layer 7, create one more new layer and select this white color. And then go back to the pigmented wash and then put this layer into screen. Put it under clipping mask. Now let me create some highlights. Just random strokes here and there. Wherever you feel that it has to be white, you can change it. And then create one new layer. Don't put it in clipping mask. Let me create some splatters. I'm in pigmented wash. Let me select a different brush. Select this bright wet edge loaded brush. Reduce the brush size to 24%. Just creating some splatters of water. Now create one new layer. So let me merge all these painting layers into one single layer. You don't have to have multiple layers. Now in this new layer, let me go to select this with the color, select the pigmented wash and increase the brush size to 6, opacity at 100%. Brush size, reduce it. Just creating some. Now this is one of the flower which I've already painted of simple white daisy flower. Now I'm going to finish this painting by drawing some more flowers in the nearby in a similar fashion, and you can watch and enjoy and wait until the final output. And that's it. Hope you liked the tutorial and hope you liked the final output as well. Let me know in the comment section if you want any specific floral or any specific tutorial, or if you find it anything challenging. Also, do check out my money journal expense tracker, which I have launched on my website, tinsantones.com, and it's selling well on Amazon as well. Please check out. And once you're done, sign it. And thank you for watching my weekly tutorials. Bye bye until next time.